Welcome back to another Medtech Snapshot, the one question, one answer digest podcast. With me today is Stephenie Goddard, CEO of Glidewell Labs. Stephenie and I are going to be chatting through some interesting topics today. One, navigating atypical careers and how you transition through that process ultimately to become CEO. We're also going to cover what is the actual life and kind of day in and day out look like for a CEO. So make sure you stay tuned. We also have a surprise question for her. All right, Stephenie. So I know I told you we were only going to be doing 2 questions. So I really enjoy this part because I get to fib a little bit and put people on the spot. So,
okay.
So the question is, you've had a wonderful career. I learned about that as we were kind of together walking your campus a couple weeks ago. But what I'd love for you to be able to do is share with us, think back into your career. And is there a moment in particular where because of that experience, that time, that moment, it was a pivotal piece in your career that because of that experience, it really became a trajectory to where you are today? Is anything like that comes to mind that you could share with us?
Yeah, it's kind of one of my favorite stories. I was at Pricewaterhouse in Washington, D.C., and I was very successful there. I had like 6 promotions in 5 years, or 5 promotions in 6 years. And was doing really, really well. And in consulting, you can do great. If you sell business and your clients love you, you can be on a great trajectory. And I had my first baby. I was running a big division. I had my own projects I was managing, right? Like, so I had my own book of business. I had my own programs I was running. I wanted to be on partner track. I was doing really well, and I had my first baby, and I realized, I think there's more to life than this. And the World Bank was my client when I went out on maternity leave. And while I was out, they offered me a job to come internal. They're like, hey, we're kind of done paying your hourly rate at Pricewaterhouse. We come work for us so we can pay less, right? Yeah. And I left running a big division and running all my own programs and, leading people to become an individual contributor. And people ask me all the time, why would you do something so silly? And for me, it was the best thing that I ever could have done. It took me on a different path. I didn't have to lead people for a while. I got to run programs. But that pivot is really the start of my career that led me to where I am today. So, people always think growth is about, promotions and, going from, this to senior to, director to VP to whatever. And it was the first time I realized you can take a lateral move or even a step back in your career and it can be the most pivotal to you. And from that experience, I tell people growth is not a linear path. There are many ways to get to the top, and the top is however you define it. And so I think that's the story I would leave people with.
My takeaway from learning about your career really has been the importance, if you want to continue growing your career, of taking risks, and at times just perhaps not overthinking things, just raising your hand and saying, yes, I'm willing to take that on. And it seems like you've done that on a number of occasions. And as a result, it's landed you in a spot where, 19 years in with Glidewell, now as the CEO, is a pretty cool story. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, thank you.